Hello everyone, nubkeks here. Welcome back to Nub Raids, and in today's video we need to break this down. We need to talk about it. The Deck of Fate, is it rigged, right? The comments in my video going crazy. This Deck of Fate is sneakily coded, so the last one is the fragment being tested on many accounts. Guys, the scientists are here and they've proven it. But like, just to show you, like, I pulled all the Deck of Fate, and guess what? The final 5 fragments I needed were right behind that last card. I did actually get it with Dungeon Divers. I saw one comment was very upset. We knew the 5 fragments were behind that last card. I had to do it with Dungeon Divers. Didn't put that in the video. There was one person that was sad. I want to reassure that person. I did in fact do that with Dungeon Divers, and the last 5 fragments were in fact behind that. So you can sleep. It's okay. Everything's going to be fine. But I also checked out, for instance, Odd One Gaming. Oh, I'm in the way. Let's move me. Odd One Gaming. Check this out.
Battle. Come on, give me those fragments. 15, so I need 10 more.
Needs 10 more fragments.
5, and
he got 5 fragments actually behind me. The final 5 fragments he needs behind the last card. That's been tested on many accounts as well. So what is going on, guys? What is going on? And lots of people are in this same boat. I think the event is... This is one of the most upvoted comments so far in the video. It's a pretty young video. I think the event is rigged, that the last card is always the last fragments. Got Leoris and 25 votes. Well, congrats on that. That's huge. I really doubt you can get all of her fragments without maxing it. It's obvious they want you to invest more. I started at the right and most of the stuff was on the left. In short, it was rigged. So that is sort of specifically a reference to, I started over here. All the fragments are over on this side. Plarium knew and Plarium rigged it. The sneaky sods. What about this? Pretty sure there is 0 RNG randomness in the book and the last fragments being in the last 2 cards. So it is rigged, right? Everyone seems to need to flip all the cards. Something fishy going on. Looks like game is rigged in more than one way. First, seems like someone forgot to switch on the 10x. And second, I wouldn't be in awe if everyone has to open all the cards to get Kaja. ... LOL. Spicy stuff. The way you're... This was erroneous use of another YouTuber. The way you're flipping cards is really hurting my soul. I think the way I flip cards is by far the most logical and best way. I don't know why people would be upset. It hurts my soul when I see people clicking them randomly. Why not just go in a nice line? Minimize mouse movement. It's the best way. Pulling the deck to the end. I'm sure you're not the only one. Just a fake Plarium random as usual. So guys, what is going on here? How is it that both myself and Odd One and many other people are coming to the end and the last card is the one that has fragments? Well, actually, I have to give a huge shout out. We've got a commenter, Boblo Blah 3415, who's actually breaking it down in the comment section. I wanted to draw this. So this is what is actually going on. This is the truth. Lots of people complaining about this being rigged, but it's not. The most likely outcomes are finishing with the last few cards. Here is a list of the tail end of the probability distribution, i.e. the chance that the last fragment will appear on your 35th, 36th, and up to 40th flip. And this is how it goes. So it actually gets much more likely towards the end that your final fragment will be there, which seems weird, but I'll explain it now in a second. So for example, you've got basically a 1 in 4 chance that you don't get your last fragment until exactly your 39th card. There's actually over a 1 in 3 chance, 37.5% chance, right, that your 40th card, that your last flip is going to give you the final fragments. So that's what's going on. The reason that me and Odd One are both in here is not because of some grand conspiracy and Plarium is secretly changing the cards behind the screen. There's actually almost a 40% chance that this will happen. Sure, and I've picked 2 examples here of us content creators put this out. So perhaps in terms of all the content, I saw, for example, I also saw Mad Capper has a video out and he got his earlier, for example. So perhaps you could find that there's obviously going to be an element of luck because it's a very small sample size, content creators doing this, but this is not unexpected actually. To break it down in more detail, to actually explain, he actually put a second comment I think makes this very clear. So here's what's going on. It's not that the event is rigged, but rather that probabilities And I'll explain why this is important afterwards and the lesson to take away from this. Probabilities are generally non-intuitive, right? The way that human minds work, human minds are very, very, very good at doing some extremely advanced mathematics. So if someone throws like a rugby ball, you are able to like judge where it's going to fall and run and catch it actually surprisingly well. Obviously easier if you're actually, you know, practiced in the sport, but the fact you're able to do it, if you were to actually work that out with mathematics, that's extremely difficult, right? To actually plot out, factor in wind distance, you know, running speed, wind drag on you as a person. To actually do that with maths, how many people can do that? Very, very few. But how many people can actually like go and intercept a ball or something when they're playing? Very easily. The human mind is really well designed for that. Really not well designed though for a lot of probability stuff. It's just not something we evolved to do, right? But you don't need to know advanced math, which is called combinatorics apparently, to see that no matter which order you choose the cards, the fragment card has a 15 in 40, that is a 37.5% chance of being the last one. So this is basically what happens, right? If we come back to this, and let's go earlier in the video where we can actually see the deck. Here we go. So I actually flipped some of these, but if you imagine these were all closed, right? It doesn't matter what order. You pick any order you want, right? Maybe I'll go here, then here, then here. Let's say hypothetically, imagine these were all closed. Let's say we just go left to right, like reading a book. I'm going to open all the cards in this order, which, by the way, going back to Erroneous's comment, the cards are entirely random, so it doesn't matter which order you open them in. I like to minimize mouse movement by just going like this. The snake pattern is, in my opinion, the best and most optimal way to do it because of that. But I like to start over on the right-hand side. I think probably because the event is over on the right-hand side when I click it, so my mouse is close. I'm truly the optimal playstyle here on the nubkeks channel. But let's say you go left to right. Right, reading each from left to right and opening the cards in that order. You know, what would be the chances? Imagining this is closed. Whatever, pick whatever final card you want. There are 15 cards with fragments on them. There's 40 cards in general. Every single card has a 15 in 40 chance that it is a fragment card. So if that is your last card, there's a 15 in 40 chance that it has the fragments that you need, which is how you have that 37.5% chance that whatever, no matter what order you open them up in, there's a 37.5% chance that there would be fragments behind the last card. Obviously, then there's whatever, there's, you know, a big chance, 62.5% chance that it's not that. But yeah, the odds of getting it on the 39 flip, 24%, 38, 15.2. To be honest with you, I'm not good enough at maths. I don't know enough to be able to explain that to you or break it down. But I think that this is very, very clear, right? You go, oh yeah, no matter what order I open them, any card that you pick as the last card, seeing as there's 15 sets of fragments, it's 15 in 40. It's a 37.5% chance. Any card that you open anywhere at any time, there's a 37.5% chance that it has a fragment behind it. And that is true of your last card as well. So it's actually pretty simple and pretty interesting. I do think that one of the big takeaways is that, you know, there's over a 50, like 37.5 plus 25. That's over a 60% chance. There's over a 60% chance that, excuse me, you need to go to the final 2 cards to get this done. You could get luckier. Like you could click these, like the top 15 fragments, you could get 15 fragments in a row. It's extremely unlikely, but it is possible. Extremely unlikely. More likely than not, though, you're going to your final 2 cards. So yeah, I think what this points out, and you know why I'm teasing people a bit for putting comments about how it's definitely rigged. You need to be really careful about this stuff, guys. You need to be so careful, and you need to be smart about it. You need to go to people that know better. Again, I try to give a pretty good overview of like your chances and attend. Like, you know, I like to simplify things, right? I say, for example, in the 10x event, right? It's about a 5% chance if you get a legendary that you'll get the, let's say today it's Prince Kaimar, that it would be a Prince Kaimar, right? 1 in 20 times it would be a Prince Kaimar, 19 in 20 times it would be something else. That's how 10x events work. I try to explain that probability very clearly because it isn't easy to understand probability. It's actually pretty complicated. but it makes you an informed consumer, and that protects you from being exploited, right? It protects you from being exploited. So again, my rough rule of thumb going into this event was, okay, for me to participate in this event, I must be prepared to open up every single card. I didn't know the stats or probability, but I said, okay, I'm sure that it could be behind the final card. I probably should have gone and worked that out, actually, that it was a 37.5% chance to be behind the final card. Didn't know it at the time because I wasn't sure how many fragments or how the fragments were spread out when I made the original video. That became very clear to us pretty early on because people went and maxed it out straight away and told everybody. But yeah, you know, I said, I need to be prepared to open it all. And I can go into it, I can make an informed decision and make it be a good decision. But the reality is, you know, like, I'm just a little YouTuber here, for the most part, trying to make videos to genuinely help you, right? But if I was like an evil motherfucker and I was sitting on the board of one of these companies, you know, what do I see when I see people coming in and thinking that it's rigged and not basically showing that they don't understand the probabilities and not engaging with it? What I would go, I'd be like, oh, sweet Mother Mary, I'm gonna rip so much money out of these dumb motherfuckers. You can't even believe it. I'm going to take so much money off because they don't have a clue what is going on. Let's go, baby. Exploit time. Let's go. And that's the final thing to add on. Like, you know, if someone goes into a casino, right, and it's like, oh, they're rigging the games, guys. They're rigging the games, like the roulette table. It's tilted slightly to land in the wrong spot. You're like, no, you're just an idiot. They don't need to rig the game. They don't need to do that because they don't need to be twisting the rules of these games. The way the game is set up in the first place is to make them win. The house always wins. And it's the same thing with Plarium, right? They don't need to go in and rig it and start changing things. Very complex coding, by the way, you know, to change the event, to artificially force it to have the fragments behind the last card. They don't need to do that. They just set up the probabilities so that it's obviously that. It's clear to people even before they go in. So they're not breaking any laws. It's like it's all clear. It's all obvious. The information is all there for you to go and get. And you can go and get it if you are so inclined. You can go work it out. You can ask someone that's good at maths to help. And there you go. You can know exactly what the chances are and exactly what's going on. But just like a casino, they don't do that. They're just like, let's just leave it out there. And these suckers gonna fall for it. They're gonna fall for it. So like, don't be a sucker. Don't get caught out. You know, again, you can enjoy a casino perfectly well. That's totally fine. Nothing wrong with it. You can go and enjoy it when you understand it and you're going in with like a good approach and you're healthy, you're protected, and you are prepared and you understand how it works, right? Yeah, it's the same thing with this. It's the exact same thing that's going on here, in my opinion. And it's the same thing that happens when people are like, oh, they're changing the clan boss system. Oh, they're fiddling with the 10x results. They're rigging it against us. No, they're not. It's just you haven't understood the probability. And like, yeah, again, it's like someone pulls a bunch of shards in a 10x event, you get one legendary. Like, it's cool to be disappointed. Like, I didn't get the 10x Prince Kaimar today. I'm like, that's a bit disappointing. But like, I'm not really that mad because I know it was a 1 in 20 chance to get Prince Kaimar, right? I got something else, you know, make a bit of fun about it because I'm a content creator, but I'm not like upset. It's not holding me down. I wasn't going in with a false expectation, but you do see people get caught out. You do see people go in and spend hundreds buying sacred shards, pull them all, get a legendary, and then they feel like they've been tricked because it wasn't a 10x champion. It's like, no. Like, again, before you spend hundreds of dollars buying these shards, all the information is there for you to know the likely outcomes of what you're going to get. It's not a surprise. It's not a trick. It's not rigged. It's, you know, that's just how it works. And it's not hidden. It's there for you to know. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed. I had a little bit of fun with this one. And again, big shout out to, let me get his name, to Bobo Blah for actually coming in and like breaking it down in actually quite a lot of detail. Again, I think it's really good. It's actually a very short, like this video is long, right? But it's a nice short comment that I thought explained it really clearly, exactly how it works and what is going on. So there you go. Thank you for watching. I'll see you all next time. Goodbye.